Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it myself.
Scream a little louder.
Good now? All right. So just talk about the team this year. What our group of guys were able to accomplish this year is extremely special. If anyone knows anything about our Hillsdale football program, until the last 15, 20 years, there wasn't a whole lot of success. I mean, we'd have a year here and there, but it wasn't consistent success like we've had. We had been able to get to the playoffs for many years now, but we had never been able to get to that point where we were winning a regional championship. And this group of guys were able to accomplish that this year. And to get an opportunity to play for a state championship is very special and something that they'll be remembered for the rest of their life. I know that they created a new standard within our program. We always talked about our goal was to get to the state championship, but we had never accomplished that. These guys showed that it can be done if you put in the work, if you're a great teammate, and you show up and find ways to get better each day. So I'm going to be forever grateful to our group of players this year. They were a lot of fun to be around. They were team first guys, but extremely proud of them and proud of what they were able to do.
This is your team's first state championship game. For Marion Local, it is their 16th championship game. Did your team have any sense of nervousness come kickoff time, knowing what you were up against, this being your first championship game?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say there was any nervousness, but I would say you can't beat experience. When you've been here 16 times, that gives you an advantage. Because I know how just from year one in the playoffs to year whatever we've been in the playoffs now, when you're used to it, obviously that gives you some positive things, but I don't think it was any nervousness. I mean, I think anyone that was out there at the game, we just got beat by the better team today. I mean, Marion Local, what they've been able to do in recent years and over the last 25 years is extremely impressive and definitely something special.
Coach, what do you tell your team at halftime when the score is 60-0?
Yeah, when we talk to our team at halftime, if we're being realistic, coming back from a score like that, it's probably not going to happen. But I just talked to them about how proud I was of them and what they were able to accomplish so far this year. And at that point, when you're down 60-0, it comes down to the pride of yourself and the pride of your program. Like, what are you going to do in the second half to make not only the team proud, but also your family proud of going out there and battling? And I feel our guys did a good job with that. Today wasn't from a lack of effort. I mean, anyone that was at that game, it was just the other team that was better won. But no, our guys, I knew they would go out and play hard in the second half and play for their teammate beside them, because that's just the type of group that we have.
Coach, talk about the journey in general and the quarterback Kelly was for 3,000 yards this year. Just talk about the journey, winning the regional title, especially for
Yeah, the journey throughout the year was a lot of fun to be a part of. We had multiple players that set records that it's going to be quite hard to break for in the future. And Kale had a phenomenal year. For what he did as a sophomore is extremely impressive. And a lot of players as a sophomore, they tend to struggle, and that wasn't Kale this year. He came out there from week one and made plays for us, and that's credit to him for the amount of work he's put into up to this point. He works extremely hard in the off season. He prepares each day to get ready for that game on Friday, and it's credit to the work that he put in. But extremely special season for him, and I'm looking forward to the work that he's going to put in over the next couple of years and what he can accomplish.
Now that you've seen it, what's Marion do so well?
I really think there's Marion that impressed me the most is just how fundamentally sound they are. And you see that on film, but usually you can find weak spots on a team, and that's not the case for Marion Local. Heck, even when they rotate guys in, those guys who are getting rotated in are still guys who are the vast majority of teams in the state of Ohio, they would start for them. But that's just credit to Coach Goodwin and his staff and the program that he's built there, that he's built a team that is obviously extremely impressive.
Coach Klein, it seemed like your 2 Hail Marys in a tournament. How much momentum did that give your Chargers to know that, hey, we can come to Canton when you look back at it?
Yeah, whenever you have success in the playoffs, that builds confidence. And our group has been a confident group throughout the year, and it was neat being part of that journey throughout the playoffs, where I do feel we just got better each week. And in the Malvern game, we let them come back there towards the end, and we were able to make some plays down the stretch with those Hail Marys. But yeah, our group, I felt, got better as the year went, and in the playoffs, you can just tell they got confidence and the more experience, and they played better each week, to the point of against Cuyahoga Heights, which is a program that is known for having success. They went out there and really handled them from the get-go. And then the Danville game, not too many people gave us a chance in the second half when we were down 10, and they were resilient, and they knew that they would keep battling, and they gave themselves an opportunity and won that game too.
For the players, just kind of talk about the experience of stepping out there on the field like this.
I'm honestly speechless to go out there. Us as a senior class, we were winless in junior high, so making it to Canton is something that you could only dream of, and to make that come true is just amazing.
It just felt like a dream come true playing on a field like that, and just walking the field, we were just trying to all take it in, and like the bleachers and everything, it was incredible. It was just a dream come true.
Any of the three of you, have you ever had a competitive experience like you had today against a team like that?
That's probably that's probably the best team I've ever faced in probably any sports, but a team like that, that's what we want to be like next year, so we're just using that as motivation to work hard all off season. And every time no one wants to wake up for lifting or anything, we're going to think back to this game and just work hard all off season.
Coach Klein, this is a question for you, also on the players. Do you feel like you guys set standards this season, have it, this year, just moving forward, especially going into next year with a lot of the key players coming back?
Yeah, I think this set the standard, because the standard always was, even though we talked about our goal was to get to a state championship, what our program had experienced was just getting to the playoffs, winning a couple games in the playoffs. Now this changes the whole standard. They saw that it can be done if you put in the work, and I already know, like, I'm a middle school teacher at Hillsdale there, and I've had students come up to me this week talking about how they want to be the next group that makes it to the state championship and get an opportunity to play in Canton or wherever the state championship will be. So this group of players did definitely change the program, and obviously we're a very young group, and we're a group that we expect to have a great off season, and our goal is for this not to be the last time that you guys see us playing for a state championship.
Coach Klein, one of the things that you do very well is you put life in perspective. How are you able to teach life lessons to your players after a brutal setback like you experienced today?
Yeah, my biggest thing is like what our players need to understand, and they may not realize it yet, but when they look back on this, they were one of the two best teams in the state of Ohio. They got the opportunity to play for a state championship, and players dream of that their whole life. I know as a kid, I dreamed of that from when I started playing sports, of opportunity playing for a state championship, and I know I worked extremely hard to get to that point, and I never accomplished that as a player. So for these guys, they will understand in a few weeks to a few months to maybe even a few years that what they were able to accomplish this year is extremely impressive, and something that no other team, and we've had football at Hillsdale since 1963, that's never been able to accomplish. And the way I look at it is I know our guys put in everything they could to put themselves in a position to win this game. It just didn't work that way. So, but no, I'm extremely proud of them, and like I said, they're definitely a special group.
Coach, many of the players just talk about the community support that really rallied behind you throughout the season and this playoff run.
Yeah, our community has always been a special community. It didn't matter when the years were going by, when we weren't winning a whole lot of football games prior to the last 15, 20 years, people still showed up, and they still supported the players that were coming through the program. And I know in the last 15, 20 years that I've been a part of as a player and also as a coach, you look in the stands and it doesn't matter if it's cold, warm, rainy, windy, you're going to see people there supporting the players. And then the same thing again today. Though from what I saw, I didn't really look up in the stands a whole lot, but it looked like our community showed up. I know there was more of the local businesses that were shut down because they were coming to support our players. And that's extremely special to me because that's what makes small town football so special. And they showed up and supported us. We had multiple meals throughout the playoff run and even throughout the year where they were there to support us. And no, our community is definitely special, and they came through again, and they will continue to come through for us.
Okay, we're gonna let these guys go. If you need more, you can follow them down the hallway, but congratulations, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, a couple of you go there.
Okay, Coach, do you want to make a opening comment, maybe talk about this game a little bit, and then I'm sure everyone's going to talk about the success you built up over the years, maybe touch on that as well, and then we'll open up to questions.
Yeah, okay. I mean, obviously, we wanted to get off to a fast start. We thought we had the advantage with just experience and you know, we thought we were better than they were in special teams. So, you know, there were a few areas I thought we had a big advantage, and, you know, we capitalized on those, obviously. Didn't run a lot of offensive plays, you know, hit a lot of short fields after interceptions and punt returns and so forth. So the game kind of snowballed pretty fast, and, I mean, wasn't exactly what we expected for sure, but our kids played well, and we were happy about that. We had a goal this week to come over here and play really well because I told these guys they deserve to play well in this game because, you know, we've been over here a lot of times, obviously, and there's been some times we just haven't played well, and it's been a struggle. So, yeah, I was happy that, you know, we were able to, you know, just kind of put our best foot forward in front of, you know, football guys across the state.
To the point you just made, I was going to ask you anyway, do you feel like people in Ohio got to see Marion Logan at his very best today?
You know, I mean, we played well in a lot of different areas, and, you know, I think we take pride in our special teams, you know, and I'm not sure everyone does that, you know, and, you know, we take pride in our defense, you know, so, you know, I think we played pretty well, yeah.
Coach Goodwin, Keno Sultan, Stark County Prep Press. Parker has set the tone for the contest with a 3-yard touchdown run and brought unbelievable energy to your Chargers. At that point, did it allow you guys to really relax and settle in based on the experience of winning 15 championships, now 16?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of touch on that, like, when you're calling plays, like, there's a big difference between, you know, the running game's working, you know, and then everything is open because, you know, you can do whatever you want on first and 10, and, you know, if it doesn't hit and it's second and 10, you feel confident you got 2 downs to get 10 yards. So I think, you know, just the overall run game, once we kind of establish that, and I would say more so, you know, like, you're watching these teams on film, they're playing teams that you've never really went against, and so you're just making conjectures on, you know, how certain matchups will go. But once you kind of see it live, it's like, all right, we can run the ball against these guys, so that just makes calling plays a lot easier, and I think it, you know, loosens everyone up, and especially, you know, in the passing game and so forth.
If we could start with Kyle.
set in yet what today brings. I mean, 64 games, no other senior class has ever done that. 64-0 or state championships. Has that set in yet what this class has done?
Not really yet. I mean, it just feels weird that the season's over and we won't get to play another season of football together ever again.
Yeah, just like Kyle said, I mean, it kind of sucks that we can't play another game of football, but I mean, as a player, that's kind of what you want, leaving the season, 4 state championships, 64 now. I mean, there's nothing better that you could ask for.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm sure here in a few days I'll be sitting there in class and watching a little bit of film because it's fun. And then I'll be sitting there and it'll be like, yep, that was a great time.
It'll kick in on the bus ride home, probably. More like when you get close to home.
Tim, during the teleconference this week, you mentioned the fact that, you probably that you might be a little emotional, coming out of this game. I mean, you've had some great classes, some great teams over the years. But just talk about this group, going and doing what they've done, and earning their way up, as a lot of you guys had to wait for other great players ahead of them to graduate to get to where they're at today.
Yeah, these guys did have to wait. For as talented as they were, there was only a couple of them. Kyle, Adam Winter, and Victor played a little bit as sophomores, but everyone else, it was strictly, Sparky played a little bit as a sophomore here and there. But yeah, not that much for how good they are. So yeah, they had to wait their turn, and they were pretty lights out at JV level 2 years ago. But the coaches noticed this class. I mean, not for its athleticism or anything like that. We just noticed, like, watch this class. Like, if we're watching film at 8, these guys are going to be there at 7:30 just because they like hanging out together. And you just notice things like that. And this class is just different. We've never had a class that would do things like that. So, yeah, we're going to miss them.
I really haven't been running the ball in the past couple of games due to an injury, and I mean, I was sitting there trying to beg the coaches to let me run one last time, and then when they said that the play, I just started running out of a smile, and then you guys did a great job blocking. I read the seam, just ran, and then that was cool.
Yeah, it helps with blockers on the punt return. I mean, I just seen the seam and just turned the burners on and took to the crib. About it.
Hey, Vic, you were talking about special teams.
Yeah.
Your special teams are so special today. When you caught the ball and you looked up and you saw that wall just seal off at the whole side of the field, what went through your mind when you said, boy, this is really open?
Yeah, same thing. I'm just trying to get to the end zone, get us up early, and yeah, it was awesome. Good special teams touchdown.
Were you surprised, though, to see it that well executed?
No, I mean, that's how we do it in practice. I mean, that's just how we practice. That's how it should be done. And yeah.
Yeah, I could practice.
Yep.
Justin, as much as, a lot of credit goes to the guys in the back, like Parker and Drew and Victor and yourself, just talk about how much the line is just built for you guys to do what you do best all season and all career.
Yeah, I'd say our line. I mean, they just grind in practice. I mean, I look over and I'm just taking 3-step drop, and I see them pushing a sled. I'm just like, that looks like it sucks. Like they push themselves very hard to do what they do, and yeah, it's just really nice running behind those guys because I know if I run the ball, there's going to be a seam somewhere to cut.
Real quick, one of the things I've learned about Marion local over the years is that there are many brothers who have played under your tutelage and have won multiple championships. What does it mean for these next generation of Flyers to win yet another championship and be able to sit at the table with their families and say that we are state champions under your tutelage?
Yeah, well, I hope it means a lot, and I hope it motivates the younger guys, to want to do it for themselves. Certainly, an extra 6 weeks of practice, doesn't hurt things either. So, and we work with those guys every day. So we're hoping, that they're going to take it and run with it. But yeah, I think there were 7 sets of brothers on this year's team. So it's kind of neat. And for you stats buffs out there, I'd be curious. Victor had a punt return for a touchdown last year in this game. Has anyone ever done it 2 different years? I would be curious on that stat.
Kyle, kind of follow up what I asked.
Somebody look into that.
Ask Justin, talk about how's Bill feel to see the line do what you guys do to help, get the offense going.
I mean, obviously, every day in practice, we're going against our scout team, which a lot of those guys on that team could play for other teams in our area, play for other teams throughout the state, and then just opening up the holes and seeing the back score, celebrating at the end zone, that just feels so rewarding after every drive.
Like I said earlier, there's nothing that an athlete, a football player would want in going undefeated throughout their high school. You got to thank the older guys that did that before us, so that we could keep the tradition going undefeated. And it's just something special that you will never forget.
Coach, 64 wins is obviously very impressive. There's now a huge target on your guys' back heading into next season. Is there any, really big teams that you look at a schedule with, like really big time games here in the state in the next couple of seasons?
We'll worry about that when it happens. We have an open week 1 right now, so we'll see what happens. I'm not really worried about that, to be honest with you, like scheduling whatever, or like we have big games in our league all the time, and we have plenty of those. But yeah, we'll schedule, whoever we can find that's in the best interest of Marion local football.
And given the outcome of today's game, a lot of people look back on that Minster game, 21-7, and say, yeah, see, that was the state championship game. And I wondered maybe if you could maybe speak a little bit about competition remaining, particularly the kind of year Minster had.
Oh, yeah, and I said it right after we played them. There's been a lot of teams worse than them that won state titles, in this state, because I've seen it, and we were, some of my teams weren't as good as that Minster team this year. So, yeah, it was fun because you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys lost 1 game, and that was 8th grade to Minster, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So they were undefeated as 7th graders, lost 1 game to Minster in 8th grade, and then so for a long time we've known, that was going to be a battle, and it was fun.
A lot of people question how much you don't show throughout the year or throughout the playoffs, just so when you get here today, you have that 53rd and 54th card up your sleeve.
We practice a lot, and we're always adding stuff and tinkering, so that's part of the fun. And I kind of told the coaches, when it was pretty obvious what was going down, I was like, all right, have some fun here, let it rip, and but there were still a couple things I was like, I don't think we should do that. I wouldn't be sportsmanlike at this point. So yeah, but that's part of the fun. We're always learning, always putting new stuff in, always tweaking.
Coach Goodwin, the run that your team has constructed over the years is kind of reminiscent of former boxing heavyweight champion Joe Louis in his 12-year reign as heavyweight champion. Would it be safe to say that your Flyer program is the Joe Louis of Division VII football? Based on Louis's 12-year reign as a
When did Joe Louis box? What years are we talking about?
1937 to 1949, he was the champion 12 years in a row. Would it be safe to say that your program is kind of like that caliber based on the dominance over the last decade?
I'm more of a Muhammad Ali kind of generation. I don't really know much about Joe Louis. I'll have to ask my dad. He was probably watching those fights. I don't know. I liked Iron Mike. I didn't like him like a month ago because I stayed up until 12:30 and I watched that.
How have you been able to maintain the standard?
The standard is the standard, and that's my job. It's not always fun to hold the line on the standard. That's my job.
Okay, everybody good here? Congratulations, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yo.